If you've never seen the documentary 13th, you should. Green coffee. So growing up in America, I learned about the Constitution, and I learned about the United States of America being created as a place of freedom and liberty for all people. But if we look at society right now, you have to question, is this a place of freedom and liberty for all people? Between the civil rights movement and today, has there been equity for all men? The answer is no. Between emancipation and the civil rights movement, did we all have access to success? The answer was no. During slavery, we weren't even considered human, treated as animals. We were in existence on American soil for profit. Not our own profit, we were nothing more than the product. We were here to ensure the success of our oppressors. But the time is no more. We are taking a stand for freedom, for liberty, not for some men, but all men and all women. For years, I thought that the Emancipation Proclamation ended slavery for all. That the United States of America no longer considered slavery a legal act. But after I watched the documentary 13th when it first came out, I realized that slavery never ended in the United States of America. In fact, it just changed its face. Slavery in America went from being where an individual, a white person, can own another individual, a black person. And after the Emancipation Proclamation, it changed to where people were still owned, but not by individuals, but by corporations. And even today, it is still constitutional in the United States of America for slavery to exist. Okay, Google, what does the 13th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution say?
According to our documents, the 13th Amendment to the United States Constitution provides that neither slavery nor involuntary servitude, except as a punishment for crime whereof the parties shall have been duly convicted, shall exist within the United States or any place subject to their jurisdiction.
Did you hear that? Neither slavery nor involuntary servitude except. That means that slavery still exists, and it is still constitutional. So what should we do about that? When we talk about police brutality, my mind connects that to the 13th Amendment. The United States of America holds less than 5% of the world's population, yet it holds over 20% of the world's prisoners. Why is that? Is America more violent than any other country in the world? Do we use drugs more than any other country in the world? Does drugs lead to violence in our society more than any country in the world? Are Americans evil more than any other humans in the world? The answer is no. So then why do we have the majority of prisoners in all of the world, over 20%? It's because of American constitutional 2020 legalized slavery. The U.S. prison system, the 13th Amendment, allowed for a prison system to be developed in our country whereby African Americans can still be enslaved. And I know the first thing that comes to your mind is that, well, the prisons are not just filled with African Americans. When you consider how small the black population is in America, and compare that to how many black people are in prison, there's a disconnect. And it suggests that black people are specifically targeted, not just by the prison system, but by the laws. So I make this connection in my mind between police brutality today and the institution of the 13th Amendment after slavery was abolished. Black people have always been targeted. And if you look at the laws that have been created, they were created specifically to target the black population. Why are some drugs considered more dangerous and illegal than others? Because, let's be real, kids in rich white suburbs do drugs like crazy too, but you don't see them being dragged into prison. Not as often as you see a young black man being dragged into prison. In my opinion, if we want to make a real change in American society and allow for equality among all individuals, we need to get rid of the 13th Amendment. We need to completely abolish the practice of slavery. There is no reason whatsoever slavery should be constitutional in our generation.